Welcome to my podcast. I'm Matt Gleason. I don't know what to call the podcast anymore, but we'll just say it's my podcast. I'm the founder of Coagula Art Journal. Maybe we'll call it the Coagula Art Journal podcast. But is there any art to talk about in this time of viruses? Wow. So I'm going to tell you a story. And it's about what I saw while I was, I want to say, living in a hospital. My wife had some heart surgery unexpectedly, but very, very successful, very good, great, wow. And but they cut you up. It takes a long time to recover. So we checked in early March, and I was staying at a friend who lives closer to the hospital, and then I just realized I could sleep on the couch in the hospital room. And then after a couple days, I started to notice the hospital started to change a little. First thing, you'd sign in every day. I would go down in the morning from the hospital room and, get a muffin and a cup of decaf. And then I would go to the sign-in desk and get a new sticker. Put the sticker on my... It's funny, I'm pantomiming, putting the sticker on like you're watching me, and I'm just doing this on audio. But anyway, and you would sign in, right? And then one day I went in, and instead of the pen being there, there was a box of pens, and it said new and used. Oh, the germ spreading. Man, think of the power that I could touch something, and then you touch something, and something that was in me is now on you and will kill you. It's just mind-boggling. And so, anyway, that was the first little thing I noticed. So then, the next, I went to get some stuff at home, and I came back, and I got there too late. The doors were locked, and I was carrying some stuff. I was bringing some stuff to the room, and I didn't want to walk all the way around to the other doors. So by this one entrance was the ER. So I said, I'll walk in the ER. So I walked in the ER, and there's a guy, and he looks at me. He's sitting at a table. I walk in the door, and he looks at me, and he goes, "What are your symptoms?" And I say, "Look, I just want to walk through that door there, and so I can get to the elevators to go upstairs, because these doors are locked, because I'm carrying this stuff, and I don't want to walk all the way around." And this other woman with a full surgical mask on goes, "Ugh, go. Okay. So I go. And then the next day, the hallway by the elevators, I open two sets of doors and I go to the elevators. The next day, that hallway, they set up some metal poles with bases. And then they brought in some plastic sheeting. And they made little booths. They put a chair in each booth. And there's basically this sealed off, not room, but pretty much like a tent. And it was an exam room for potential COVID cases. It's kind of fascinating. So, man, I just noticed this go up the whole time I'm there. And, I can't tell you that the vibe was any different from the first day I was there till the last day I was there. It was, the healthcare workers, but I could tell little things like, there was a cashier at the cafeteria there, which, by the way, I ended up reviewing. I ate so often, I reviewed the UCLA hospital cafeteria. I gave it 5 stars on Yelp. Great pizza. Great pizza. Anyway. So, but the guy, one of the cashiers is like, the person in front of me, he starts kind of pumping her for information. "Hey, how you doing? So are there any COVID patients?" Things like that. So you start to notice these little things. Yeah, and then one morning I got a cough. Huh? A cough? Don't worry, don't have coronavirus, but I had a cough. There I am, looking up the symptoms, dry cough. Well, I had gone home one night, and it was just a little too late, and I slept at home, and it was so cold. Nobody had been in the house for a while. I turned up the heater. I went to bed. So I woke up. It's like 90 degrees. And I've got this dry hacking cough. It's the morning and I'm just absolutely, oh my God, I've got COVID. Wait a minute, I was just in the ER. I'm going to go to the ER. So then I drive from where I live, which ain't close to UCLA. I drive there in not too much traffic. And I know where to valet park my truck, and I go into the ER. And there's the same guy, and he's sitting at the table. But now he has a mask on, not just the woman next to him. And I walk in, and he says, "What are your symptoms?" And I said, I got that dry hacking cough. That's one of the COVID symptoms. Immediately hands me a mask. Go in. Well, thankfully, I'm signed into the UCLA system, so I just tell them my name. Everything's great. I sit down. They said, "We'll call you." So there's 3 people ahead of me. And there I am in the waiting room with a mask on, going, "Oh, geez, what's next?" And, it seems like an eternity. It's probably like 10 minutes. They finally call me. And they take me into an ER room. Now, this is a place, if you were in a car crash, you would go in. I'm sure people have had their lives saved in this room, and people have died. And it's a glass booth with a curtain. And there's a bunch of them. And there's a lot of people running around this ER. Now, thankfully, I've never been in the ER when it wasn't busy. So I don't know what it looks like, but it was busy. So a doctor comes in, and he's got a gown on, like a hat, like a gown over his regular clothes, gloves, of course. He's got a surgical mask, but then he has not like a welder's mask, but it's clear plastic. Like, okay, nice way to meet people. And I say, "Yeah, I've got this dry cough." Because you don't have a fever. "No, I don't have a fever." "Have you been fatigued?" "No, not at all, man. The minute I had this cough, I jumped up." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We're not going to test you." "Well, come on, man. Test me. Test me. Please test me." No. Well, then I tell him about a pre-existing condition. I try to anything I can to get tested. And he says, "Listen, if we test you and you test negative, you'll have a false sense of security. And they're going to be isolating people in a couple of days. So you'll think, oh, I tested negative. And, then you might go out and get it and die." "Okay." He goes, "And if we test you and you're positive, you're not even showing signs of symptoms. You'll be here 3 months." "Oh, geez. Okay." So he goes, "But you, in all likelihood, you don't have it. Here's a chest X-ray. Take it." They bring in this machine. I don't even have to go to X-ray room. And they do a digital chest X-ray, and then a different doctor comes in, and this is like the head doctor. And because I'm a UCLA patient, he knew my pre-existing condition doctor, so he came in and was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I know that guy." And he goes, "Yeah, just get out of here. You're fine." Oh my God, what a relief! So I go up, tell my wife, "Okay, I'm fine. Hopefully you're going to go home today." "Nope, she has to stay another day. Complication." Oh, geez. So I'm sleeping another night in the hospital. When the doctor told me, he goes, "Get out of here, isolate." So there I am. And then they say, "Oh, yeah, every time someone gets removed from this floor, we're putting in a COVID patient in there." It's like, we got to get out of here. I start getting all nervous. Oh, so they finally release her. We go home, and we're going to isolate. You're not going to see me till, the fall, the summer, late summer. Seriously. But here I am, I'm at home, and we're, we've had some very generous friends help us with grocery deliveries, and I will be forever grateful. In your time of need, you find out who your friends really are. So like everybody else, we're just totally isolating. And I try. How can I save some money? I had 2 storage spaces, so I hired somebody, a gallery prep guy who nobody's hanging art shows right now. So he was happy to go in and take one of my spaces and consolidate it to my other space. He's like, "It's going to be hard to get in there." I said, "Hey, I'm not going to go in there for another year. Okay, I'm just not going to go in there for another year. I'm not going to visit the storage space for a year easily." So then, this is cool. I get an email from UCLA with the X-ray they took. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. So I look, and it's a picture of my lungs. And then I say, oh, I'm gonna check and see what it says here. and it says no something something. You know, they have these long medical terms. I mean, there's a real beauty almost in those Latin, maybe they're Greek terms. So it says no something something, but then it says something something, like pneumo something. I don't know, just this crazy thing. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I immediately Google this thing that it says is there, and it's like, what could cause this? Heart failure, kidney and liver disease. I'm like, huh? And then pneumonia. It's like, oh, I am feeling a little weird. Maybe I have pneumonia. Oh, geez. So I call my GP at UCLA. And of course I get somebody and I just said, well, look, I just got this results back of this x-ray. Tell her to go on the thing, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, okay, well, we're going to get you in. And then they go, okay, we're going to get you in tomorrow. Great. I'll come tomorrow anytime. And then they call back and says, can you come today? I was like, sure. I mean, I'm absolutely panicking. And of course, my wife's here recovering from heart surgery, and I'm worried that I'm going to get her sick. It's like, oh, geez. So I get in the truck and I drive. And thank God there's no traffic. The one saving grace of the whole COVID thing. Absolutely no traffic in LA. Yeah, LA's really hilly. You don't notice this when you're just stuck in traffic, but when you're driving, it's really hilly. Yeah, a lot of hills here. Not just the Hollywood Hills. Anyway, so I drive over to UCLA. I mean, I make it there in like 30 minutes. Seriously, I don't what would normally be rush hour. And I get in and I'm by this time I've got a mask, and I don't have gloves, but I'm good about using the hand sanitizer and all that, or I'd like to think I am. So I go in and I, get ready, go in, take your shirt off, put the robe on. Okay. The doctor comes in and man, she stethoscopes me and we talk. And then she looks at the thing that I read to her, on the phone to her assistant. And it said, no, you don't have this, comma, but there's this and this and this. And she goes, oh, I hate how they do this. How they do what? Well, you don't have any of this. It's no first term, and then there's a comma, and the no still applies to the second term that you Googled and panicked and came here for. Huh? Yeah, you don't have that. It's very bad. They should have bullet point. Like, I'm a copy editor, proofreader. I've done magazine layout. I could do it in my sleep probably. If you had PageMaker 4.0, I could get you an issue of Coagula. I could sit there and click, click, click and get everything. And the one thing I would do is if you had medical symptoms, I would put bullet points. No, term number 1. No, term number 2. So anyway, I didn't have pneumonia. I didn't have anything. She said, take some Robitussin if you're coughing up stuff. You lived in a hospital for a week and a half. You might have picked up a germ or two, but you sure as hell don't have COVID. Go isolate for 2 months. Anyway, that's my COVID story. So while I'm isolated, hopefully I'll be doing some more podcasts for you. And I drove home in record time to be with my lovely wife, who is recovering, and to eat our groceries that our good friends supplied for us. And maybe I won't see you in a few days or weeks or even months, but I'll hear from y'all soon. Thanks for listening. Bye!